Picture this. Chaos reigns inside a dive bar. Fists are flying, bottles are breaking, and a man is inexplicably riding a motorbike inside the bar. The air is thick with cigarette smoke and regret. A band plays behind a chicken wire fence like it's just another Thursday. The bartender shrugs and starts sweeping up broken glass like it's routine. A waitress gets kicked in the crotch. When suddenly the doors swing open and in walks this statuesque man. What the hell is going on in here? You call this a bar? This is a war zone with a liquor license. My name is John Taffer, and this is Bar Rescue. Shut it down!
It's not a waitress who's kicked right in the puss.
Who?
It's another patron. And I know that because I rewatched the film just to see that.
Just that one scene.
A man puts down $100 bill to like see her tits or something.
Yeah.
And then she stabs it with
a knife?
A hospital scalpel or something.
Okay.
And then he kicks her right in the puss. And it's actually the chair, but from the cut, it looks like he kicks her directly in the crotch, and she falls backwards. And then Dalton gets slashed with the knife.
Dalton's bar would not pass the test on Bar Rescue. I'm sorry.
You know. So the wildest thing about this movie is that like Dalton comes in to manage the bar front activities after Tillman has invested all of this money, and he turns the bar into like a fucking Denny's. Like by the end, when Keith David is in the film and he doesn't say a word, they're all wearing matching like red top uniforms,
sure.
And it looks like a fucking drive-in.
You hate Denny's? You're saying you're about to make this controversial claim? Public forum?
I'm not saying that, but he takes all the character out of the bar, even though the character was
getting punched in the puss,
was puss kicking and violence and drug dealing,
damn it,
and having sex with women in the back room on your break. Yeah,
welcome to Roadhouse, baby.
Yeah, this is not a bad bar. Am I right? Am I right, fellas?
I am profoundly in love with this film.
Yeah,
I didn't know I would feel like this. I thought it'd be another one of those goofy, 80s, woo.
It's not goofy.
Look, I think it's poignant. I think it's philosophical.
Uh-huh.
Look, okay.
We're talking about Roadhouse.
We're
1989's Roadhouse.
OG
Next
Roadhouse.
week, we'll be talking about the 2024 film Roadhouse. Yes. Starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Can I talk about my movie that I saw though?
Yeah. What you been up to?
I went to see Mr. Bong Joon-ho, director Bong's new movie, Mickey 17.
That's right.
It was all right. And it was sure was okay.
You got to tell me the spoiler off screen, off mic.
What spoiler do you want to know? I'll tell you right now.
Do they all 17 make it?
No.
Okay, so it's just Mickey 1.
That's pretty clear from the trailer that they don't.
It.
Yeah.
I thought they were all going to the farm, where your pets get sent to when you're
No, they all get dumped in. The trailer does perfectly encapsulate what the film is about, but also there's this like other aspect to it that comes up where you're like, oh, it's also about this. And I won't spoil that for anyone. But the crazy thing is, by the time this episode comes out, Mickey 17 will be on VOD. It won't be in theaters because it made like $200,000 or something. Like no one, which is crazy.
Yeah.
The theater I went to was packed. And the wildest thing about that movie is like it's a comedy.
Yeah.
No one laughed in my theater. Man. It's a shame because like I was also like, this is not very funny. Like, I just don't find this funny at all.
Death is no joke.
But also, no one else in my theater seemed to find it very funny either.
Yeah.
Which is kind of... Because the problem is you're like, I get that this is supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But it's not working.
Well, a lot of people are like, oh, we love The Parasite. and we're gonna go and watch this with the guy. It's gonna have some poignant take. It's gonna have some real thing right in the middle, and it just never comes. I guess
it doesn't. It's a lot less serious than Parasite and a lot less good. But is it not a bad movie? I just didn't like it very much.
Fair enough.
Pattinson's good.
All 17 of them.
What's her name from Hereditary? She does exactly the thing she always does.
Toni Collette?
Yeah, she sucks, dude. She's so bad.
Oh, I didn't know she was in it.
She does the fucking thing she does also in Knives Out, where you're just kind of like, oh, there's Toni Collette giving it 110.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it a good performance, but she's giving it 110. And Mark Ruffalo is not good. Yeah. The big issue with the film is that, like, the villains, quote unquote, are so, like, preposterously silly that you're just kind of like, I don't care that they do bad stuff.
Okay.
Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They're played by Ruffalo and Collette, but yeah. What's her name from? God, I had all their names in my fucking head last. From the Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker. Ridley? She was also in Master of None. Yeah. What? She's very good in it. Whatever. Anyway.
Cool.
Yeah. It's an all right film.
Yeah. It's no Roadhouse.
Certainly not the rip-roaring start to 2025 I was hoping for. And it's no Roadhouse, that's for sure. What were you going to say before I interrupted?
Just that. I was just going to profess my love for 1989. My God. Look, yeah. I'm not a crazy Western fan, but
you never say you never describe a film.
Because this is literally like a fucking romantic Western folk.
It is a Western,
right?
I read a article, a review on like Collider or something where they're like, Roadhouse is basically just Western. I was like, yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
It's that classic like formula storytelling. Instead of a fucking old dusty saloon, it's a dive bar. Instead of a dead horse, it's a really banged up car.
But the car is not. It has no, like, he buys the beater car because he knows it's going to get torn up.
Absolutely.
And he puts his Mercedes in storage, which is very funny.
Yeah.
But, like, it is funny. This movie is, like, not meant to be a comedy.
No, but it's so funny.
The part where his car is like has something else done to it 3 nights in a row or whatever is legitimately a comedy bit. And also the way that Swayze reacts, like I think when he brings Elizabeth out into the parking lot and there's a stop sign stabbed through the windshield and she's like, "Your fans?" and he just reacts like so nonchalant and he's like, "Yes."
And then worst burst into laughter. It's so cute.
Yeah,
it's so cute. It's just, look, this is the America that Trump wants, okay? This movie...
He wants a town that literally has 4 buildings. It has an auto shop, it has the Double Deuce, and then it has Swayze's house across the river from the bad guy.
That's it.
That's it.
Well, it's about to get a JCPenney, so don't forget it.
Well, I actually think when he goes to the hospital and meets Elizabeth, I think that's attached to the auto shop. I just think I don't believe it's another building in the town.
It's the same mall that has the hospital and the other thing.
So yeah, Roger Ebert brought in his review of this film, which he gave it 2.5 stars, which is like, good goddamn, Roger, you know what's up.
What?
He mentioned that there's only 2 homes in this town, and and also he had this great quote. Can I read it to you?
Yeah.
Roger Ebert, the greatest movie reviewer of all time, loved Roadhouse. Didn't like Blue Velvet. That's weird. He thought Blue Velvet was dangerous or something. Yeah. I'm
not blue enough. It's
I'm saying that because
purple.
I was watching Blue Velvet earlier and I was like, this film is dangerous. It's kind of psychotic.
To your pants.
Okay. Roadhouse exists right on the edge between the good bad movie and the merely bad. I hesitate to recommend it because so much depends on the ironic vision of the viewer. This is not a good movie, but viewed in the right frame of mind, it's not a boring one either. That's how he ended his review.
What? Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, he's right.
Damn.
He's right. This movie is so fucking excellent.
This movie is great.
It sucks so bad, but it's so good.
Look. When people say, like, if they kind of ironically enjoy Roadhouse, I think they're being kind of a piece of shit. I think this is a legitimately good film.
You do?
Yeah.
I think it's an ironically good film.
I know. I think it's like, it's funny because it intends to be funny, not because it mistakenly is funny. It's like, it cranks it up 110% on purpose. It's cast Patrick Swayze because they know he's got the, the sensitive philosopher hot guy thing that he got from, what was the movie right before this that he did with The
Godfather?
Patrick Swayze in The Godfather. Was it The Pottery?
Dirty Dancing?
It was Dirty Dancing. It was Dirty Dancing.
Was that before this?
It was before this.
Yeah.
So he's already coming with that branding, and then he's fucking bringing his like Bruce Lee to it.
Was he also in Ghost before this, or was Ghost in the 90s?
I don't know when Ghost was.
I think Ghost was early 90s.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But Dirty Dancing was before Roadhouse. Yeah. So he's got that marketing specifically for his brand, which it's so clever that they cast him in this, dude. They could have brought anyone.
Well, if you were going to contend that this film is like a legitimate comedy, I don't think they told Swayze that he was in a comedy. Good, because he's not meant to be the funny guy, right? Because Swayze, I've always liked Patrick Swayze. Yeah. But he doesn't strike me as a guy who has like much of a sense of humor about himself, even though he probably does, because like he's in something like Point Break. Mm-hmm. Like Point Break is great, and I love Point Break, but he's also like, you're also kind of like, does Swayze get that this movie is like whack in a way? And it seems like but maybe he's just like that dedicated and stuff. But then again, even in like, I'm a big fan of Donnie Darko. Yeah. And he's in Donnie Darko, and he plays like a child molester, or like he plays like he has like child pornography in his home. That's like the big twist at the end. Yeah. But he's so, I don't know, he's so real in that film. Totally. It's like so scary. That's what's so like upsetting about it. But I don't know. I just wonder. He's so believable in this role too. Like it does every 5 minutes. They very intentionally go like, "Oh, you're just this skinny kid. Like I didn't think you would be. I thought you'd be bigger. Yeah, yeah." And then he literally rips out the throat of a guy who said, "I used to fuck guys like you in prison." Yeah. Which is the hardest line you could write for an 80s macho villain. True. Yeah. My God. Like who would have thought it? They didn't even do this in a jokey. I think they did it very intentionally, knowing that someone who says something so incendiary is about to get his throat ripped out. But the audience doesn't know that that's going to happen. And it's a beautiful moment. It's foreshadowed, but yeah. But in a way where they kind of pass it off as a joke, like, "Oh yeah, Dalton just ripped a guy's throat out." Yeah, and they're like, "Okay, well," which obviously seems like an exaggeration until he straight up does it in the most kung fu way possible. Yeah, because the guy set the town on fire and possibly killed a bunch of people, and it's like the kind of retribution. He also like, I don't recall if he does that before he kills Sam Elliott or not. I think it's before he even kills Sam Elliott. So he it just keeps like going from there. He blows up the landlord's house, and then they save him from the house. But then Swayze fights the guy. But I think that scene is like, because Sam Elliott tells him, he's like, when someone's pointing a gun at you, you can either kill the motherfucker or die or whatever. Or excuse me, he's like, if someone's pointing a gun at you, you can either kill the motherfucker. Bradley, what are you doing here? Yeah. Bradley Cooper. No, I'm Sam Elliott. I'm not Bradley Cooper at all. Oh, right. I just want to take another look at you. How's it going, mijo? Bradley Cooper, he fucking took the whole thing, man. So we haven't seen the new Roadhouse yet. No. But if Bradley Cooper played the mentor to Jake Gyllenhaal, perfect. It would be so beautiful. I don't say that about Bradley Cooper or not, but he doesn't need a fake nose in this one. No, perfect he doesn't. Casting. My God, the hair, the cadence, the fucking, his walk. And if he just played Jackson, Wyoming, where the fuck his name is. Jackson, Wyoming. A Star is Born. He's like, Jake, I just want to take another look at you. Just watch your... Hot. Just too watch hot. Your nose, Jake. Oh my God. You're getting too old out there. Let's go back. And then so he killed. So that's like in reference to that scene where he says it. And I think the thing is that Dalton is gonna get he could die fighting Jimmy, who's obviously also one of the best hand-to-hand combatants in the Midwest. He's nationwide famous at this point. This guy. But Dalton is not Jimmy, the guy whose throat he rips out, though. He's like he's a badass. Oh, and so he kills him because he could die. And then after in revenge, Brad Wesley kills Wade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time something explodes and then a fucking, is it a Hummer? No, what kind of car is that? Where it's like 2 stories high.
Oh, the monster truck.
A monster
Yeah.
truck. My God, it's so perfectly named.
Yeah.
Of course this movie has a monster truck because this movie knows that it needs a monster truck.
Also, like, I love the, you see the monster truck and then you're just like, what is going to happen in the next scene? Nothing. Nothing happens in the next scene. There's just a guy casually driving a monster truck
rolling up
areas, and then eventually he uses it to demolish a car dealership. And like cops don't exist in this town, and like the way they say it in the movie is like, well, he's got them all in her pocket and stuff.
Course.
But it's like, come on, they still should show up and like file a police report.
Nuh-uh.
They didn't do
Because
their
it's
job.
cowboy style, baby.
Yeah.
Because we're in the fucking world where until Dalton shows up, there is no concept of eat the rich.
No.
So that's what I'm saying. There's layers in this thing. There's not only do they have the fucking porn bunny and the saloon slut in fucking Double Deuce, they also have a guy who's like so philosophical and so just like, yeah, not only do I sing songs behind a chicken cage, but I'm aware of, you know, the ethos of this bar.
Yeah.
I'm aware of what's going on in this town.
Blood on the floor every night.
Yeah.
Jeff Healey of the Jeff Healey Band.
Jeff Healey.
A real band. Yeah, a real actual band. True, real blind singer, Jeff Healey, who plays the lap guitar. Yeah.
And it pairs perfectly in the film because it doesn't suddenly feel like, okay, why is there a song every 5 minutes? But it's always there. There's a song playing. Every other scene, there's a song playing. For at least the first 2 acts.
The music in this movie is fantastic.
Stunning.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. So it's a real immersive house. It's a real immersive roadhouse.
Yeah. The set of the Double Deuce is amazing. Like, even despite being morphed into a Denny's, it's like, it's basically, they I swear, like, the bandstand in the very first scene, the one in New York that he's bouncing at.
Yeah,
I think it's the same set. I think they just like changed it. It's like
just
very
different colors.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they replaced that net with chicken wire, and then we have a different fucking. And it's like, yeah, okay, it's the same fucking place.
Yeah,
but yeah, the Double Deuce is an incredible set, along with the band that comes with it, and yeah.
And like every character is memorable. Every character has like a small quirk that. It doesn't overshadow. Obviously, Patrick Swayze just like stands over everything.
Yeah.
But even the little guys, the weird goons, with their I have a favorite line that I actually wrote down, so I'm gonna read it out to you.
Yeah, tell me.
I got married to an ugly woman.
Well, babe, you're gonna step on my joke that there's 3 lessons he learned from this film.
Okay. You know what? It's important. You gotta lead with the
3 lessons are I got them written down. They're very important. Be kind.
Yeah.
Nobody wins a fight.
Yeah.
Don't marry an ugly woman because it'll take the energy right out of you. That's the 3 lessons. And they're super important.
Look, the whole quote is so perfect because it does start with, you know, I got married to an ugly woman.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that. It just takes the energy right out of you.
That guy who looks like the Onion Knight.
It's so perfect. Yeah. She left me, though. Found somebody even uglier than she was. That's life. Yeah. Who can explain it? Is that not the most perfect little, just like, you have a guy who says something like that, that's all you need to know about him.
Everyone in this story is, speaking of the Western themes, is basically like a tumbleweed.
Yeah.
And like, because even Dalton, Dalton's like in New York and he's doing his thing. And for some reason, they live in an alternate universe where bar bouncers are world famous, or at least like famous across county lines. Yeah. And this guy comes from fucking Jasper, Missouri or whatever to be like, I need the most famous dude, bouncer guy I can find to come cool my bar. And he's like in New York. And then he's just kind of like, all right, you give me the money and I'll do it. And then he just leaves. Like, he's just not even a 2-week notice for the main guy. Yeah.
Because that's how they roll, baby.
But like they talk like they're fucking session musicians or whatever. He's like, no, Wade Garrett's the best. He's like, I don't know Wade Garrett. And he's getting old. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's the gig economy.
Yeah.
They're like, I gotta be places and do things.
Yeah, today they would be like hired on a TaskRabbit or
yeah.
become like bar cooler $5 an hour. Yeah. Yeah.
He does get a sweet gig because he's like, I want $5,000 up front.
$5 up front, $500 a night, right?
Yes, and you cover every medical expense.
Yeah.
Look,
That's pretty.
I haven't had that for years.
$500 a night. Is he working 5 days a week?
Also, he stays in a fucking barn.
I know.
He's
and
paying
it's
that
like,
guy $100 a month.
Okay. And yeah, he's paying $100 a month for that. That's crazy. He's going to be as wealthy as Brad Wesley soon.
Yeah.
He's going to be the one. Roadhouse 2 is about Patrick Swayze abusing his power in
because
the
of bad guy.
and the barn, it's like, it's Missouri, and the barn doesn't have a real door.
No, it's
so you're like, isn't it going to be really fucking cold?
he's like shirtless for the entirety of the time he spends in the barn.
But obviously, it just takes place in summer, and this film is entirely filmed in California.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, but like, it's like, isn't it going to be fucking freezing cold in the wintertime? I don't know.
So beautiful.
It's like this film doesn't make any goddamn sense. It doesn't make a lick of sense.
What? Yeah. It makes perfect sense for the situation that it's in. I'm just saying, when the director, who's so perfectly named Rowdy Harrington.
I never heard that name before.
Never, no idea. And he just showed up in 1989 and he was like, I'm about to make a film that is exactly meant for a guy named Rowdy Harrington.
Yeah. And it's like,
Bless.
I swear to God, if Dwayne Johnson ever directs, like gets into directing a film, he's gonna be like, I'm gonna go back to being called The Rock. And it's like directed by The Rock. It's like, that just sounds better. And it just sounds way better.
It goes hard. I like that.
Yeah.
This movie can cure cancer, but also kind of cause it.
Definitely. It's a cancer on society, I think. Yeah.
Whoa. But like in a cute way.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, you can't eat sugar anymore because it's good for you. Just don't. Don't eat sugar.
This, honestly, like what I was thinking, and it's like, I don't want to insult anybody. This movie is basically like an Edgar Wright film. Like
what?
Yeah, like the Shaun of the Dead guy, because like half of Edgar Wright movies are like, why do these people know karate? Like where did they learn this?
The talent has no fucking limit. Okay.
No, exactly, and that's what's silly about it. But like, if this movie was made today, not the remake, but like if this movie was made today, directed by Edgar Wright, people would be like, that is the greatest action comedy to come out. I mean,
it would
be
because it's kind of like Shaolin Soccer, or it's got like in that vein of Kung Fu Hustle, where those movies they lead with comedy. They are a comedy action.
Yeah.
This is an action inadvertent
Isn't
comedy.
This movie like a lot more violent though?
Yeah,
like
the description of this film is horror.
That's just Amazon's fault because they're useless.
It's like
lazy.
Enticing, thrilling horror, and that horror is just when every woman you ever see on screen gets punched right in the crotch. Like,
yeah. But like it just. What am I trying to say here? The violence in it is real. It's not silly. Like it's not even, I wouldn't say like majestically choreographed like John Wick or something.
No.
It's such a silly movie where you go from like 1 second where a guy is like drooling over this woman's tits and like feeling her up to the entire bar getting in a fight, and it's violent. It's like fucking crazy.
There's knives, there's like guts and blood. Yeah.
There's the guy with the knife on his foot and he immediately tries to kick Patrick Swayze. Like he just leads with the foot and you're
so
like, why would you even
perfect.
lead? And he kicks so high.
He kicks up to the shoulder, which I don't know who.
Yeah.
Look, congratulations on your hamstring strength, bitch. But like, he comes foot first up to the guy's shoulder.
But it's like they can see that there's a knife in his toe.
Yeah.
And then he's immediately like, you know what I'm going to do with this, right? And then he just fucking tries
I'm going to lead with it. I'm going to lead with
he
it.
Kicks up, and Patrick Swayze grabs his foot at the apex of his kick and just throws him backwards. It's so fucking funny.
I love it.
But also, like, a lot of this, it's just like when Swayze first comes to the Double Deuce and he fights that one guy and he just smashes his head through a table.
Yeah.
And then he's like, this man needs to be outside and like sends him away. But it's very...
I think you are underestimating the power of like small towns or even medium or even big towns where a generation of dudes were so into fucking bullshido or whatever, or aikido, or it's like the MMA dudes
Bushido
now.
is like meditation.
What? It's all bullshido anyway. Fucking, you
Oh
know.
wow. Okay. Sorry, Japan.
Sorry, Steven Seagal. Fucking call me.
Samurais are bullshit.
You know what I mean? It's like the MMA now, where like a generation of boys just got so into fucking MMA that even if they get rowdy, they still keep form. So they might still lead foot first,
maybe
into some guy's shoulder.
I know that in the Jake Gyllenhaal version, he's a retired MMA fighter.
Okay,
that's
there
why
you
it
go.
makes sense. Whereas in this movie, there's like, I don't care about whether this makes sense or not.
I mean, he's doing fucking Tai Chi in front of a lake.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously, they have to show us like all 900 muscles,
and
in
he
his
has
fucking
like
back.
and his just
Glistening.
beautiful ass,
Glistening.
When
Oh
he
right, oh right.
when what's her name, the waitress sees his ass and she's like,
she has the most.
Yeah,
she does the most.
Also, that scene cuts way too. It's too short. Like, they're getting at an idea in that scene. We'll talk about it in the plot a little bit. The point of it is to tell Swayze that when he fires the bartender, it's the nephew of Brad Wesley, and he shouldn't have done that. But they never really say that.
Yeah.
They just show Swayze's ass, and she gasps, and she's just like, "You shouldn't have fired the bartender." Cut. And like, it's that's
why? And it's because when she says the line, "Oh, you shouldn't have fired him," and the camera pans to his cheeks, it's basically I don't give an ass, or I don't give a.
That's an exact saying that people say.
I don't give my ass.
So many people are like, I don't give an ass about things. Come on, where did you learn how to talk? Fucking Kansas City, Jesus.
I'm ESL, all right. I'm doing the best I
can. We know. Yeah.
I don't give my ass.
I don't give a single cheek
Not
about this.
One cheek.
I shall turn my cheek to you. That's what Shakespeare talking.
Booty Shakespeare.
Yeah, whatever. All right. Want to talk about the plot here?
Hit me.
I don't even know where we are. Who we are.
Just thinking about that. Just take another look at your
That's
plot.
what the what's his Doug Liman, when he was hired to direct Roadhouse, the remake, he told the other Roadhouse, he's like, I just want to take another look at you.
Hell yeah.
So, all right, the Double Deuce owner, Frank Tillman, makes the long, arduous journey to New York City to hire world famous
bouncer
punchy guy Patrick Swayze. We see how Swayze is the best cooler in the business because, as we talked about, woman gets kicked in the puss. He's like, let's go step outside and fight these two guys, and then he's like, haha, and then he's like, I'm not gonna fight you because you're already outside.
Yeah,
that was the whole trick. And Frank Tillman is like, he's probably got a lovely
strategist.
Ass. he's got a perfect ass on this man. Also, he's like very chill. He has a mullet that is as wide as his shoulders.
My God, right.
Basically, he's like, come here, $5,000 up front, $500 a day. What is that's $2,500 a week.
Yeah.
$10,000 a month. He's got to not be working 5 days a week.
It's also a short-term project, and he knows that he could get banged up pretty bad. Like, what if you just get stabbed in your liver and it's fucking over for you?
Yeah,
so,
and he almost does.
And he does. He's like full of cuts and bruises.
But you know what, though, babe? Pain don't hurt.
Pain don't hurt.
It's very funny in that scene when he gets stitched up and he's like, pain don't hurt. And then in the next thing, when she puts the needle in, he's like, ugh.
But then he like course corrects, and every other subsequent 10 stitches, he's just like, yeah, cool.
He's like, yeah,
doesn't even flinch.
Pain's sick. I love it.
It's because he's vulnerable and he's a big sweetie.
Yeah, whatever.
And the audience knows it.
He will rip your throat out.
Yeah,
okay?
I wish he did.
Dalton gives away his car to a homeless man, which is like kind of lovely, but also what's the homeless guy going to do with it? Like, you know, it's like he's got to
drive to the next fucking Burger King. Or
what about the insurance? You know, like what are we talking about here? Yeah,
it's all good.
He drives with his Mercedes to the Midwest, Jasper, town with 4 buildings, nothing else around. The Double Deuce is like incredibly rough. He experiences like he goes to kind of observe.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, that's Dalton. That's the most famous person in the world right now.
It's President Dalton.
This president, this Mr. Fist fight himself. That's Mr. Fist. And he witnesses an entire bench clearing bar brawl after one guy grabs that lady's tits because he can't pay to kiss them for $20. This is all real. There's another guy who says, let's get nipple to nipple with another lady.
Hell yeah. Can I just say, when the guy propositions another man to, hey, I brought this girl with me, you can kiss her tits for $20. But he lets him have a sample, and that's just a testament of small town loyalty,
feminism,
and honesty and
that
trust.
Scene, and I'm being completely legitimate here, like I'm being very honest. That scene, I think, it to me when I saw it, when people, you remember Wonder Woman, right? Did you see Wonder Woman?
Yeah, regrettably.
Yeah. Well, come on now. Hold
Sorry.
on.
Yes, yeah.
When Wonder Woman goes over the top and she blocks with the shield and it's like a big moment, right?
Yeah.
And like lots of people got very emotional when they see that in the theaters because this is a big step for Wonder Woman and whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
In this movie, I think that was like a step forward for womankind when that man got to feel her. It was the Wonder Woman going over the top of its time.
and then someone reaching and grabbing the Wonder Tit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just don't think that people are giving it enough credit because when I saw Wonder Woman, not regrettably, because I thought it was a brilliant film.
All right.
Touching and
touching,
rife with. Excuse me. Okay. Can you just let me be sincere here?
Sorry.
And it was rife with meaning, and I was like, this film is something. This is what the world needs right now to heal. Mm-hmm. I thought I saw that scene, and I was like, wow, I was moved to near tears. I was like, Roadhouse already did it. Roadhouse has already done it.
Thanks, Gal Gadot, but you can sit this one out.
Thanks, Patty, but have you ever seen a little film called Roadhouse?
Oh my God.
No, I don't. Well, because think she has.
First of all, they're in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Where are all these women coming from? Where are all
Titsville?
I mean, I guess some of them are like, oh, okay, we're sex workers or whatever, blah blah blah. But there's also all these college students. I think.
One is the thing is this movie should truly be an indictment on the dangers of drinking and driving because there is a Walmart-sized parking lot in front of the Double Deuce, and it's empty by the end of the night, empty. And those fucking people are not sober.
Where are they going? Off-road.
Exactly. I was surprised. Like, there's no wonder there's so few people in this town. They probably all die after Saturday night.
Visiting the Double Deuce.
But so one of the women,
double dead.
One of the main women is like, she's Brad Wesley's like
lady friend.
Yeah, whatever. Something. She's something. Like, I don't know.
Sure.
Anyway, Dalton comes in. He's hired. Tillman is like, he's in charge. Dalton fires the main bouncer. And then the next night, he sees that the bartender is on the take. He's taking money from the till. He fires the bartender. The bartender's like, you shouldn't have done that because my uncle is an important person.
He owns this whole bitch.
I own everything.
Yeah.
And Brad Wesley, who lives across the river from Dalton, coincidentally in the barn, Brad Wesley is like, he's just like a wealth terrorist. He just owns the town.
Also just like voyeuristic and just like loves peeking into people's windows.
Yeah, he has like this huge estate. Something I do think is lacking in this movie is that like, okay, the idea of like there are those people in small towns. I'm from a small town, and luckily there was no one quite like this in my town. Nobody think I'm like subtweeting them about this, but like there are people in those small towns who are like the big shots in a way.
Yeah.
And like, their kid fucking gets picked for first on the basketball team, even though they can't fucking shoot a three. And
right.
shit like, and like,
yeah.
This guy, Brad Wesley, his like villainous motivation is just not explored deeply enough, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And you're just kind of like, what is he? He's just a shithole. He's just a shithead.
Well, like, yeah, because it's all greed, right? It's like capitalism, TM. When he talks to Patrick Swayze, he's like, you're damn right I got rich off all these idiots' backs and I'm going to keep getting richer. That's
like not that interesting. He's just an organized criminal, basically. He just like extorts money from the town.
Sure.
And that's like, I'm just like, it's just not that fascinating.
But he's also butthurt because the doctor lady is like, I don't want to sleep with you anymore. I'm going to go with Patrick Swayze.
And then he does have to watch her get fucked on the roof.
in front of his house.
Yeah, which would that would be tough to watch.
Come on, right? Money or not. even from his comfortable mansion.
Money
he's
can't
like,
buy you the love of Dr. Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Who's gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's the real motivation, I guess. But money can buy you an opportunity to kiss some random girl's titties in a bar.
Yeah.
For $20. And Brad Wesley can afford that.
Or
okay?
You could touch him for free, as we've learned from this film.
Well, no, you will pay for it with your face.
You will pay for it with a knife in your chest. Yeah, that's true.
So he fires the bouncer and the drug dealer and the bartender. He gives the lecture on being nice. Be nice until you're told to not be nice. Mm-hmm. One of the important lessons of the show. He, on the first kind of night where he's in charge, he shows he's good at fist fighting, punching people. The waitress brings him breakfast in the morning. She sees his beautiful ass. She gasps and she says, like, you shouldn't have fired the guy because you shouldn't have fired the guy. Cut to a scene where they actually explain what happens. He gets his car repaired by Red. Right. And then that night, the bartender returns with 4 goons from Brad Wesley.
That's right.
And he's like, I want my job back. And that bartender is the greasiest cat. Like, he is such perfect casting.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
And Dalton beats the shit out of them. Basically, he's just like, no, you're fired still. Beats the shit out of them. And but he ends up getting slashed with the knife. So he meets the doctor, Elizabeth. Mm-hmm. She stitches him up. And she's just like, you're literally the only attractive person in town. So I guess I will fuck you.
Everyone looks like a bag of rocks. It's so rough, man.
Yeah, actually, it is. You know what? There's actually one bouncer who works with Dalton who's not a bad look. He's got like blonde, kind of swept back hair.
Okay,
that describes 50% of the cast in this film. So, but yeah, like he's not a bad looking guy.
The small Aryan town of fucking wherever they are.
Yeah. Keith David shows up. He's like, I'm not in the right place. All right. So he's with the doctor. They have a torrid love affair.
That's right.
Very sexy. Brad Wesley watches them have sex, and that doesn't please him very much. They find out that Brad Wesley kind of like, he owns the liquor supply. So he cuts off the liquor supply. Then Swayze finds a way around it. And while he's getting kind of worked over by thugs again, Wade Garrett shows up, his old buddy. After he gets kind of an ominous phone call from Swayze being like, hey, what would you do if someone wanted to kill you all the time? And Wade Garrett's like, I don't know, buddy.
I would stay beautiful is what I would do.
Just stay mijo, just stay chill.
Sam Elliott is just like born from the womb a silver fox. Remained the same.
Incredible hair. This is like, I love Sam Elliott in A Star Is Born. But quite honestly, can't name another film I've really seen him in. Yeah. So this movie, I was like, yeah, Sam Elliott, big, mustache upon which a whole man can lay.
Oh, but and it's not even there yet.
No, he's gore, and his hair is like fucking stunning. And then he fucking almost shows his cock when he pulls his pants down. Very provocative. He tries to steal Elizabeth away from Swayze, which I thought that was
a beautiful.
I thought
scene.
That was the direction that it was going to go, and I was like, no, I don't want Sam Elliott and Swayze to fight.
It's more nuanced.
But it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Brad Wesley, played by Ben Gazzara, goes on like a arson spree around town. He blows up Red's auto shop.
Of course.
He blows up Emmett's barn, to which Swayze reacts by ripping out Jimmy's throat. Mm-hmm. And then in between there's 5 other scenes of huge fights at the Double Deuce. Then Wesley basically calls him and he's like, you gotta choose, I'm gonna kill Elizabeth or Wade Garrett, what's your choice? And he ends up killing Wade Garrett. Swayze goes to get revenge. An incredible scene where he drives the Mercedes like straight into the estate.
Oh wow.
And it like flips over and catches on fire
6 times. It's so funny.
Yeah, and obviously we have the auto shop, the car dealership with the monster truck, which we mentioned earlier. That's just another playful event happening in this movie. But basically, it's all about this like businessman goes on like a campaign of terrorism because he's angry about a bar. It's a fantastic.
Well, that's how fragile his ego is, and that's what makes it right. And this movie's 90% men. So
check your math. I think it's about 99%.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. My
Yeah.
God. And it's interesting because they're not all that much different from each other. Even Dalton, who's like, oh, I'm a saint, still kind of falls short of his own, reservation against violence. And he does turn full.
He rips a guy's throat out.
He rips a guy's throat out.
And then in the kind of like the denouement of the film, he like murders 7 guys. And then, to show that he's changed, he doesn't kill Ben Gazzara. He just lets 5 other guys shoot him to death with shotguns.
Well, they had guns and he didn't.
Yeah.
So it's only a fair
Did you know that this is rumored to be based on a true event?
What?
Yeah, not in the specifics, but in that
about a bouncer?
No, about a rich guy, this like rich asshole in a town was like murdered in broad daylight, and the police when they investigated, no one would actually stand witness to being like everyone was like, I didn't see it. And that's essentially how this film ends.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like 7 people come around and shoot him.
And then the police finally show up. They're like, I don't know, all 3 of us were on vacation last week. Like, it's
like
crazy.
No one knows about fingerprints. Yeah. Like, it's back in the day.
And they're all literally standing over the body. Like, and the police are just like, oh, I guess.
There's smoke coming from the body. That's how fresh that wound is.
He's like, oh, I guess it wasn't one of you guys. I guess you just found him like this. It's so funny.
It's that part. I think they should have. He gets a shotgun right to the chest and the belly, and
he gets a few
4 times, 4 different shotguns.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he died.
And he's still standing, and he's still like, oh wait, no,
ow,
wowie,
ouchie.
Yeah. He's still going.
Yeah,
crazy. That part I was like, unrealistic.
That part, yeah.
Just that part. Yeah. Rest of it, I was sold.
Swayze and Elizabeth do finger blast in a lake. That's the end of it. Yeah.
They did no such thing. It's a chaste
You're right.
couple.
It's a lot more romantic.
Yeah.
It's a cut scene with the finger blast.
Oh my God. Not the finger
in
blast.
The fucking extended director's cut.
Yeah.
Which is 4.5 hours long, which is longer than The Brutalist.
No intermission. Yeah. Only intercourse.
You don't need it. You know what? Movies like Roadhouse teach you that you don't need an intermission the film to be good.
Damn right. I don't know the last time I was this pumped up to watch a fucking sequel or whatever to
I am excited.
A movie. Yeah.
I've heard that the remake is on par with the insanity of but it's a Doug Liman picture, and we know we've covered Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and Doug Liman is a psycho.
Yeah.
No, he's just he's known for being an erratic filmmaker who has made some really good movies in the past.
I'm fucking ready, dude.
Not including Mr. and Mrs. Smith, because that movie fucking sucks ass. But I'm really excited for Roadhouse. Yeah.
Check out Mr. and Mrs. Smith on The Low Ceiling.
Check it out on this pod. Which is why I said we covered it, because it was on this pod. Also, you know what? I'm sure other great podcasts have talked about that film before. Oh, excuse me.
It's The Low Ceiling or The Highway. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Highway to Hell. Fuck, so many bangers in this movie, dude.
They do not play Highway to Hell, though.
Do they not?
No.
Oh, they play that Roadhouse song.
This film can't fucking afford AC/DC.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
They do have like a great... I rewatched like half of this movie just to
get pumped.
Get fucking wrecked for it. Yeah. But like the first scene with the song... But it's like this blues rock band.
Yeah.
It's like, don't throw stones. And it like follows this lady as she like daintily puts her foot out of a car and then walks across the parking lot. It is great.
Yeah,
it is
dude.
Fantastic shit.
Yeah, shit gets me jacked. Ugh.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah, Roadhouse.
This movie rules. Man.
I sincerely like it. I like it so much. I wish more films were honest about expressing themselves in their time.
I like it ironically. I don't think it's like... It's hard to believe anyone took this seriously.
Yeah, because it's got 44% on Rotten Tomatoes.
No, but even like the filmmakers like being like, wait, did you really believe in this? Like what you and that's totally fine. Like I'm not doubting that, but it's a silly film. But like Ebert said, like it's never boring. There's no moment of this where you're just like, hey, move it along. No, it's just so fucking wild.
Hell yeah. Kinetic. Just how I like it.
Yeah. And in the next movie, we got the pleasure of watching recent Trump guest Conor McGregor act in a film, which is
fuck. That's
exciting.
I don't know why I thought you were going to say JD Vance. I was like, fuck. If Vance shows up in Roadhouse, he's got my vote.
If someone could like make an AI version of JD Vance playing the Conor McGregor role,
which one? Because
that
there's
would
so
be
many
sick.
faces of his on the internet now.
just all different faces,
All the ones, all the different ones.
JD Vance meme that's going around.
Hell
Just
yeah.
a rare Vance would be him.
A rare Vance.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Voluptuous.
Oh boy, thank you for listening, and remember, be kind. Nobody wins a fight.
Yeah.
And
I
don't
got
ever
this.
marry an ugly woman.
Yeah.
Because it'll take the energy right out of you.
That's life. Who can explain it?
And if you do, let that ugly woman marry an even uglier man.
Yeah.
If they can be found. But I'm saying though,
What?
let them have a peaceful life after. Just leave them alone. What do you like? Don't
Yeah, don't
just
be
let
weird
them-
about it.
Yeah, don't be weird about it. Like let them have
Ugly people are people too.
even JD Vance.
Even JD Vance.
Yeah.
My God, regrettably.
Yeah.
It's been the low ceiling.
It has been. I've been John. Thank you for listening.
I'm Pri. Bye.
All right, bye.